And we're back. So welcome back. And as I said earlier, Fiorenza is here. I said a lot of nice things about you. So
thank you, Yariv. Thank you for the trust and working together. We've been developing a lot of things here in Guyana studio with Film Forge, new production, new structure, being innovative in what we are doing, creating, and at the same time helping young people to get in this crazy business and to be the future of the business in the next few years.
yeah, I mean, I would have a question is why would you want to do it? But we'll answer the questions from the people out there. So I'm going to read the name of the person. So Bojidar, I know you've been asking a lot of questions. And I'm going to ask the question to Fiorenza. How do you choose which movies to produce and distribute?
Usually we come always from what distribution needs. One day they might need a Christmas romance, one day they might need a thriller. So now we really choose the genre according to what our client, what distribution want, what is missing on the platform now, especially because we are developing new title for the platform. So, and it's different cases.
Yeah, so the point is, I think if you want to succeed, you have to begin with the end in mind. What Fiorenza just rightly pointed out, we don't choose, the market chooses, and we're going backwards. So Fiorenza has a ton of experience of over 30 years in sales and is very connected with the buyers out there. And so they kind of tell her what they're looking for, and obviously they have their slots to fill, like Netflix wants to release 2 years down the road and they want a certain type of thing. They do their research and they kind of tell us what they're looking for.
Exactly.
So if you want to succeed, find out what the people are looking for, where ultimately it doesn't matter the platform, it matters the content itself.
Yes, absolutely.
So the next question again from Bojidar is, does your company operate only in France and Bulgaria? Do you plan on expanding? That's an interesting one.
My company has been operating in France, Italy, Spain for about 30 years. Now it's been 5 years that we are also operating in Bulgaria and expanding. We are expanding, but not now through the internet because it's the modern way to expand.
Yes.
Not opening offices in every single country. That's a completely different type of distribution.
So what we do here is we make movies, but they go worldwide. So we don't need to expand in other countries. We're making a product and it goes through the internet and then it reaches people across the globe. What the model that we're operating on is, it's called the pre-sale model, where we go and sell to different territories and then they get to exploit the media in the territory. So for example, we'll go to a distributor in Portugal, they will acquire the product and then they will distribute it in Portugal. So we're worldwide, but we're also very local. Yeah, so
yes.
The next question is, how do you build a distribution production studio business?
This is about a 25 hours question
Yeah,
to answer.
It's a lot of work.
You must be crazy a little bit, I think, nowadays to do that, but it's a lot of work and it takes knowledge, connection, relationship and a very, very wide open mind because the film business is very unpredictable, especially when you're on a set. Something can change, some disaster can happen, and you just have to find a solution in like 2 seconds.
Yes, so you got to work hard. That's the basic of it. There's no sort of magic pill. You got to get in there, grind, and just build it bit by bit. The relationships you develop will happen over time. It's not an immediate thing. You have to keep building in. And the important thing is to deliver what you say you're going to deliver. So if you're going to make a Volkswagen, tell them you're making a Volkswagen. Don't try to sell a Rolls Royce. And that's the thing.
Yes, exactly. And there is public for every type of movie. There is a big budget movie at a few hundred millions, but you have people that also want to see movies that have a smaller budget, but have a heart, have something that you spend a good hour and a half to watch.
Yeah, there's two movies that I always compare and contrast. One's called Whiplash and the other one's called Avatar. And both are extremely profitable. And actually Whiplash, if you look at the percentage, is much more profitable because they spent a lot less on it. Avatar is made $1 billion for Disney, but it also cost them $1 billion to produce. And what Fiorenza just said, the most important thing is, does the movie have heart? So it doesn't matter how much money you spend on the production, if it has no heart, no one would be interested in.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
How did you come up with the idea to create whole feature films during the courses?
It was Yariv idea, and I think it's a great way because there are a lot of universities around the world that teach film school, but everybody is only on theory, and they do very, very, very little practice, and maybe they do a short movie or like something that it does not give you an idea of what the real life on a set is. Going from students to actually put them in the real world and making a movie, I think it's the greatest idea because most other schools don't have the possibility because they don't have a studio behind, and we are developing a lot of partnership with European university to bring students here to give them that practical work when they maybe study for 5 years only theory.
Yeah, so I'd love to take credit for that idea as well, but I'm not deserving the credit. Basically, last year we did a lot of courses and we did it on a proof of concept model. And we were able to film 5 days and then just get a trailer of a movie. And over the year we decided we're going to do longer courses. The team here at Film Forge, Max and Piotr, also, we decided we were going to do longer time. So with 12 days of filming, you know, we have a lot more footage, and we were going to do, you know, why not do a feature film in the same time? Because a lot of these sort of lower budget feature films, they afford 12 to 18 days, but you can capture enough footage to make a movie with that. And so, of course, we can make the film, but selling the film is also very important. So if we're going to do something, where's the output? So that's where we partnered up with Fiorenza, because of our experience in the distribution aspect and also her relationships with all the buyers and the clients. So we said, okay, let's try a little bit of a hybrid where we do something that's educational but also has a business side to it. Which brings to the next question is, what are the distribution plans for
The distribution plans, this first movie that we are starting in a few weeks will be presented in Berlin as a normal movie that has a normal type of distribution, and it will give also the possibility for the student that work on it to be able to start in the working world saying, we already did a movie that is released. Because nowadays you have also a lot of movies around the world that get done but are never released because they're done maybe with funds, but there is no market, there is no distribution behind that is interested in the movie. We try to do commercial that people want to see and still, quality.
Yeah. So I think traditional distribution platforms, you used to start with theatrical and then go to pay TV, then subscription video on demand. These days, the internet's kind of allowed a lot of distribution channels opened for all movies. Our plan is to go through AVOD platforms, which is advertising video on demand, which seems to have replaced, would you say, free TV, which was...
It is replacing free TV. The replacement is not completely done because, this kind of business takes always a couple of years before all the things, but I think that most of the public know that there are less and less movie on TV in all the channels around the world, and people who want to watch movie, they are more and more hungry of new movie, and they go into the internet with a different platform, from the paying one to the free one, and the AVOD is the classical free TV as we use. We watch a movie, there is a spot, you go to take a coffee during the spot, and then you watch the movie again for free.
For free. Yeah, actually we're going to have a channel on our YouTube called Free Films.
Yes.
And that's where these movies are going to exist, as well as other places. But that will definitely be our channel, on our YouTube channel, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that. Moving on to Victoria.
Yes.
3 questions. Will there be a more advanced course for producers? I want to dive deeper into budgeting.
Okay, budgeting and producer is not exactly the same thing. They go together, but usually budgeting is done by the line producer on a movie, and a producer has to be 360-degree over the whole project. So it's not only budgeting.
Yeah. So the question is, what does a producer do? What does a line producer do? And who does what? So a producer could be anyone that just finds a story they want to tell. Different elements. And in fact, I want to call out to another friend of mine who asked me a question, is like, I'm doing this for a movie, do I deserve a producer credit? And in a way, if you bring an element to the movie, you do deserve producing credit. It depends what the element is. So sometimes a producer just has a relationship with a key cast member that greenlights the movie. So if you're best friends with Hugh Jackman and you can bring them to the table, you haven't really done much for the story, but with Hugh Jackman, the movie gets greenlighted and you've produced it. Other times, it's 24/7 and you're from the inception all the way to the marketing, you're living with the story and it took you 9 years to get there. So it's a very nebulous part, but the budgeting side is a line producer. And I think, what does a line producer do? They kind of hold the line. Stephen Paul, a producing friend of mine, says they're at the front line. So they're often the director's best friend and worst enemy at the same time, because they give the choices to the director. Okay, you want 500 extras? Yes, but you'll have to give up the car crash or whatever. So if you want to dive deeper into budgeting, the best way to do it is kind of go into set and see what are the elements required to produce this movie. And nobody knows what's behind the camera. Everybody sees what's in front of the camera. So a shot can be a shot, but are there 300 people behind the camera or just 2? And that's how you learn it. And you just got to break it up. This next question isn't so much a question, but I'm going to touch on it briefly, but I'll talk about it in the future, is why is the tax rebate so important and why don't we have in Bulgaria? Well, we do have a tax rebate in Bulgaria. We have a great working system. We've had 26 successful projects get the rebate. Rebate is just added incentive to bring a producer into the country. So what a rebate is it's paid after the spend. And if you've done the right things and you've spent it locally, our Bulgarian rebate offers 25% back on spend. And it's different from a credit, because a credit is paid up front, and often film centers get to distribute credits for movies they believe in, but the rebate is paid after the spend, and it's a very important economic stimulus. So that was a brief touch.
Yes.
But there's a lot more to it.
Yes.
Where to find sponsors or investors for my short film? It's impossible.
Short movie really are only worked in the university to show that you can go and do a longer movie. It's mainly for upcoming director, but there is no, even if they try throughout the years to do channel with short movie, it's a commercial market that doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
It's more to show, like a writer before writing a novel, he wants to do he can write a short story. If the short story looks good, then he will have the possibility to do the book. And it's the same thing in the movie, everyone, now you do TV series, you do movies, short movies,
There's no real market, so I think if you want to find an investor, it must be the rich uncle. I wouldn't say.
Yes, or you have funds throughout the university and for short movie, but you need to be in a school that helps you finding those found for. Is more for developing new director, for finding the new talent. The short movies is like a trial.
So here at the studio, we do offer some free services like equipment and spaces. for short movies, but we can't offer you much more, and our requirements is that you do use professional crew because our equipment is expensive, so you'll have to pay for them. We don't own people, unfortunately. That was prohibited. So definitely we would help upcoming filmmakers. If you want to do your short film, do approach us. But we can't offer that much to you. And as Fiorenza said, the best way to do it is through an existing film school that will make you and help support you for that. So, but if you want to find funding beyond that, you know, it is difficult. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but you got to keep trying. I don't have a solution for that. Dorothea, I don't speak French, but haven't studied in a French film school. Will I be considered to work in France?
Anybody can be considered to work anywhere.
Yeah.
But if you are a Bulgarian and you have experience here, there is much more future in Bulgaria than in France, where the film business has been going on for 100 and more years since the brother Lumiere who created the film. And basically it's very, very difficult to go ahead in France if you didn't go through the French schools. So I would suggest for people who have talent to stay in Bulgaria and develop it, because really the future is here.
Oh, nice. That's good to hear.
Yes, it is.
So,
well, I left France to come here, so
Yeah,
you know,
so-
after 27 years, even if I still go back and forward for work reasons.
So yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think with working on any film, it's not which country you're based on, it's based on the credit. I mean, although it's not right, I still go on IMDb to see if someone who's applying for a job has worked before. Get a lot of credits, you can work worldwide. Don't have any credits, you gotta grind a little bit, and then eventually you'll get enough credits and then be considered for work elsewhere. I don't agree that IMDb is the right source to look for people, because really you don't know what's behind the camera. But it's a start, and the more credits you get, they say if you don't get paid, get credits. The more credits you get, the more opportunities you will have to work in the film industry, because people will see, have they done something before? And of course, the important part is once you get on set is to do a good job there, because that travels a lot further than what the internet says. People will call and check in on your work and how you're doing. So that's the questions from outside.
Yes.
Fiorenza, I have a couple more questions
Yes, please.
for myself. And this is based on your experience. Selling to territories, what is your experience and how do you approach?
Selling to territories, we've been doing that for 30 years. In 30 years, the market has changed already 4 or 5 times. So I can tell you what is the situation now. Before it was much easier because there were less film produced, because they needed bigger budget and people were pre-buying a lot, but it was very, very limited to American cast, American story, and even if they were shot here, they always had to look American movie. Now the platform is making even the taste of people changing. I also distribute some Bulgarian theatrical movie worldwide. 10 years ago, nobody was interested. Now, if the movie is beautiful, is well acted, the story is interesting, people are much more open to see foreign language movie. And also, we are not there yet, but we are very, very near to the artificial intelligence dubbing that will create basically that every single movie can be seen by everybody in the world because it will be in their language. When now a dubbing sometimes costs 10% of the budget of a movie, because depending on the countries you still have dubs that are very, very, very expensive, so it's limited a lot of distribution because of this. And this technical will be able to help us on smaller movie to do all the languages, because we don't even realize how many languages. But for example, when you sell to India, they dub it in 14 different languages, but they actually have 65 in India. So, you know, this is all the things that we need also to discuss with a different distributor, because that's also an expenses. So if now we are getting to the new technology that can on post-production do all the different languages, the world will change even more, and it will more go from producer to the public directly without middlemen like television channel, like a video distributor, like, you know, all of those.
The middleman that used to exist was the labs, where you had to take film and develop it. And then with the advent of the internet, it kind of opened up the world. And now airlines is a territory, in fact. So if you're going from one place to another, there's another territory, which is up in the sky. And what Fiorenza was saying earlier is movies used to be very American, and Hollywood used to drive the industry. And that's changed dramatically over the last couple of years. This is also important for you actors out there. Used to have to be an American accent, but that's no longer relevant. And you can even speak in your own language. And it's more important to convey the emotion of the character rather than the accent of the character. And I find a lot of actors, if they get stuck on an accent or trying to pretend too much, they lose the nuance, the emotion behind the words. So, you know, the world's changed. We've become a lot smaller because we're connected in many ways through the internet, and yet we've become also a lot bigger and more distant because we're no longer connecting in person.
Yeah.
So there's changes that are happening constantly. When you're on camera, you're actually connecting with a person you've never seen before, and it's important to convey an emotion to that person. So how you do that, there's a lot of techniques and stuff, but you have to really believe your own character, and that's really important. Don't be worried about your accent or where you're from. Worry more about what the words mean and the meaning behind them.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Good acting is the most important thing nowadays. Then language accent, depending on the movie, but if you can act good, you will find a job. And there is production all around the world in different languages.
Yeah, they have to see you first.
Yes.
Cool. As we have a casting call going up, pay attention. We're going to be providing the roles that we're doing shortly, and make sure you apply quickly.
Absolutely.
All right.
And please come and visit and make some
magic.
Yeah, make magic,
Yeah.
because you know maybe you are the next talent that we're looking for.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again, and bonjour Victoria and Dorothea. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. Bye bye.